Hello and welcome now to the second video that I wanted to get on the channel today. This one is the top 10 Black Series figures from this year. This year killed it in Black Series, in my personal opinion. Some of the face printing technology that we've had, the figures from new media, existing media, but also really dipping into the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. But also some of the older things that really haven't been touched upon in many years really hit the ground running to this year. And I was blown away by some of the figures that I've added to my collection that I've fallen in love with, constantly bringing back to the desk, playing with, just letting them do their thing. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Without further ado, let's jump right into it with number 10. So as I said, number 10, coming in hot, is the new Clone Trooper. So I feel like every year for the past maybe 3 or 4 years, we've had a new trooper of some sort. And this year is no different. So this year we got blessed with a new Phase 2 Clone Trooper. And he was also blessed enough to be on my top vintage collection figures as well. I love any new troops. This one does have his helmet is a little bit harder to get off, but this one does have a basic clone face underneath there. I've heard some people say excuse me, that they don't really like the face. It does look a little weird. I think it looks great. I usually leave most of my clones, unless they're commanders, with their helmets on anyways. But I love the new clones. I'm gonna get more eventually, as I find them in stores, or when I have the money and things like that. I definitely want to pick up a few additional ones to fill in the ranks and build out the collection as well. So I love this clone. I think he is a great figure. It's about time we got an updated version of this clone. I know they have been doing a lot of different paint apps and really perfecting the clone. So to have this one finally done was really very exciting. So, at number 10, we have my man, Phase 2 Clone. Coming in, we're going to keep it in the Clone Wars. Coming in at number 9 is Padawan Ahsoka. This figure encapsules, I think is the word I want to say, young Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. So perfect. Like, look at the attitude just there. Standing there with her lightsabers on her belt. The arms crossed, the expression that they gave her on the figure, also fantastic. And I was so happy that this figure came out when it did, around the time that the episode of Ahsoka came out. So this was just such an exciting figure to add to the collection. I really liked the season 7 Ahsoka that we had. But I really believe I love this one even more. She's kind of taken the front row of the Clone Wars stage with the General Skywalker and the General Obi-Wan. But yeah, I would say number 9 is definitely going to be this Ahsoka figure. Such a great figure, such a awesome detail, great paint app too. I think the colors on her outfit just work so well, like so perfect, exactly how she's supposed to look. Everything about it is just so perfect. Coming in at number 8, this one was a hard one to decide, but I came down to it and I was like, you know what, this one has been my favorite, just based off the articulation, the design of the costume, and everything. But coming in at number 8 is the end of the Obi-Wan series, Obi-Wan, which is like the Jedi Wanderer, I guess you can call it, or the Jedi Master Returns. I don't know what they call this one. I can't remember exactly. But what I love the most about this figure is, one, it has really good articulation in the arms. It has the butterfly joints underneath there. But also, I love this detail on the boots, how he has like these wraps here. Really cool, like Jedi armor or robes, he's got the goggles hanging. And if you've read the comics, you know that this look is actually inspired from that comic book. The robes should be a little bit more white, but that's okay. That's how they were also in the show at the end. I do have him with his lightsaber ignited. I know that in that part of the scene that he's kind of just like ready to go on his next adventure, whatever that may be, as Obi-Wan Kenobi, or old Ben Kenobi, or, you know, whatever it may be. But the soft goods cape looks really good. This one is a lot better than the other ones, in my opinion. That came out, the hood kind of just stays down a little bit better. And I just like him. I just think he was a really cool figure. The likeness of Ewan McGregor is really good on this figure too. As you can see here with the lightsaber, really great face sculpt. I think they really nailed all the Ewan McGregor figures for the Obi-Wan series in general. But I love this figure. I think it's just an awesome one to have. I'm really happy that they did it. It's a bummer that it's a Walmart exclusive, but I don't believe that it's that hard to get. Don't quote me on that. But again, a really awesome figure to have and add it to the collection. So I'm actually going to have two in at number 7. And the reason is they're kind of a pair, in my opinion. And I'm going to give that to the Ahsoka series. Oh, hold on. I lost a blaster as I was trying to pose. The Ahsoka series Sabine. And I call this the Rebels Ezra. I know that he is an Ahsoka packaged Ezra, but let's be real, that is 100% season 4 of Rebels Ezra, and I love these figures. I think they're both so well done. I've been wanting this Ezra for probably the longest time ever. He's been on my own personal wish list for pretty much since they announced the Rebels. I like this Ezra more than I like the original Ezra. Don't get me wrong, love the original Ezra. I think he has that really unique lightsaber, which makes him really cool. But this one is the one that then you get to, you know, see grow. He becomes that Jedi. He becomes, you know, the Padawan. Oh gosh, the Padawan of Kanan Jarrus. And I love that arc and how he grows, how he learns the importance of being a Jedi. I'm just knocking these all over, so we're gonna give ourselves some space here. I'm just gonna move them out of the box so we have some more space. So we're just gonna move all of them out. But I just loved all of that about him and how he really became this character that was like this, you know, immature, very brash young boy, and then he became this Jedi by learning with his master Kanan, and I love that. I mean, then he made that very selfless act at the end to save everyone with Thrawn. And so next then we have the Sabine from the Ahsoka series. This one is probably the best likeness of anyone. I don't know the actress's name, but she's a beautiful girl. And they did such a good job with this figure. I love the lightsaber. I love that they use these thicker legs, so she stands up so well. And I love the way that the blaster can look, and you get the 2 blasters, so you can, you know, pose those if you want, or you could just have her have the lightsaber and, you know, do the lightsaber scenes that she had in the show. Very excited for, you know, the other villains that we'll have. And unlike the vintage collection figure, this helmet doesn't look goofy and huge on her. So she wears her helmet, she looks great. So 2 great figures to add to the collection. One is definitely a Rebels. He's on my Rebels shelf. But, you know, Sabine is definitely the Ahsoka series Sabine, so she's 100% remaining on the Ahsoka shelf. So, number 7 is a 2-for-1 Ezra and Sabine. Now, coming in at number 6 is a big boy. It is Black Krrsantan. Another amazing deluxe figure. Deluxe figures this year have been just great. They really knocked it out of the park. But this guy, I wish he had more accessories. I think that's my only complaint. Paint app on this figure is amazing. His blaster rifle is great. It is a little hard to get him to hold the blaster. So if you want him to like pose with his blaster rifle, you know, it does take a little bit longer to get that in. And then you got to really kind of pose him that way. So it does take a little bit longer to get him. But I mean, the face on this guy looks good. He's just so bulky and big, and he's just so cool. I wish he had some effects like the vintage collection one for his hands, but I think you could always use some type of Marvel Legends or some other action figure piece to make that happen. So it's not like the end of the world, but a really great figure all around. I love Black Krrsantan from the time that he came into the the comics. So now having him in an action figure form is just so cool. And that first one we got from the comic one just was such a bummer. I think everyone was just so upset, and then we get this guy, and he's just like, yes, like this is just so awesome. This is exactly how you want a Black Chrysanthemum Book of Boba Fett action figure to look, and he just looks so good on the shelf with the rest of the figures. So coming in at number 6, we have my boy Black Chrysanthemum. So now we're getting down to the top 5. These figures are fantastic. These are some of the best ones that we've seen in the Black Series in a very long time, and we will have another 2-for-1, since technically they're kind of like remakes, is the only reason why I do have these two together, and they are coming in at number 5 respectively together. So we do have the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. This one is just a 100% perfect upgrade of the original. That original one was just absolute garbage compared to this one. He stands so much better. He looks just proportionally better. I mean, there's nothing I can say that's bad about this figure. It's just so good. And then the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader as well. You know, the helmet, the only complaint I have with this figure is the helmet does not stay on very well, which is understandable. I wish they had like little pins or something to keep it into the helm. The Luke is great. I don't think there's a single problem with this Luke. This Luke is fantastic. His body looks great. He's so fun to pose because he has such great articulation, unlike the other one. And he doesn't look so skinny either. That was a big problem that I had with the original Jedi Knight Luke, is that he was just very skinny. This one is just perfect. I love posing this figure in the different poses that, you know, you can get him in. And posing him with Vader, you know, as they fight in front of the Emperor, whatever it may be, however you want to pose him, you can. But is just a fantastic figure. They've been really killing it with these episode 6 Mandalorian Lukes. I would put all of those into one category together, but yeah, enough about Luke. He's just fantastic. But Vader, I do have my complaints. I love the face sculpt. I love this unmasked Vader look. The original one wasn't awful, obviously, for the time that we got him. Obviously, face printing technology wasn't there, and it really does look good, and I like how it was kind of like grayish, since this one is a little bit more of that, skin tone color. I do wish his under the eyes was a little darker, like he had more of that little black, or it was redder, to really show the years of straining that the mask has had on Vader. And then another problem that I have is that this arm tends to pop off whenever you're like really getting him into his stance, where you really want the lightsaber to do something. Another Vader figure that I will say honorable mention here is the Target exclusive Final Duel Vader. That head sculpt is absolutely amazing. It is the same body, so that's why I'm doing this one, just because I love this figure. Even though the helmet sucks and he has its flaws, this figure is just so cool. I love taking it off, and then I'll do, you know, like a the Return of the Jedi scene or something of that nature, or just pose it in different ways. If I could get a way for this helmet to stay on better and not fall off constantly, I'd be a happy camper. But if anyone does have a way that they've been able to keep the Vader helmet on better, let me know. I know if you keep him like that, he just stands, he's great. But you know, I keep my figures in a bookshelf that does have doors on it, so if I open the doors and then close it, it does tend to move the figures around, and like if he shakes a little bit, his helmet will fall off. Or if I'm like trying to repose them because I want to do something cool with the display, then I will kind of mess that up. So that's also another problem. But Vader figures this year have just been absolutely fantastic. They've really been doing such a great work with all the different Vaders. So that Final Duel one is a fantastic figure. And then there's the Vintage Collection ones, which was my number 1 favorite figure. If you haven't watched that one, spoiler alert. But yeah, that's that one there. So Vader and Luke coming in at number 5 together. So there might be some bias in these next 4, just because they are all video game characters. But number 4 is Bastila. I have been wanting Bastila since Raven was a character, and that Black Series was a thing. I love Knights of the Old Republic. I mentioned that in my Vintage Collection video. The Knights of the Old Republic was one of those video games that I grew up on. I was, a 90s kid, and then I grew up in the 2000s. Xbox, PC was kind of my thing. I wasn't really a PlayStation guy. So when I got my Xbox, I actually played Knights of the Republic 2 first, based off a friend's recommendation. Fell in love with that game. It was absolutely amazing. And then decided I got to play 1. I got to figure out this story. So I played 1, fell in love with it again. And that's where I met Bastila, and I was like, a yellow lightsaber? Like, what? You hadn't seen that before in Star Wars. So this character is fantastic. This is such a cool rendition of her as well. I love how they, took the yellow lightsaber, really did a fantastic job creating a yellow lightsaber. This is the first yellow lightsaber that we've had in the Black Series. And then just her look looks so good. The colors, these maroons and the mustardy tans. Her hair sculpt is absolutely amazing. You have like these crosses here of her hair pulling in. Then she has like the two ponytails there, and then the top bun. That just looks so good. Like they made this like video game character that was very just like pixelated into this wonderfully sculpted figure that just looks so good. And I just love it. I just love the work that they've done on this figure. And it's so cool to finally have Bastila in the collection next to Revan. And I'm so happy they redid Revan, because the old one was great, don't get me wrong, but his lightsabers were so thin, and they were so easy to break. So having a new one where they did do these thicker blades was so great, because she looks so good next to him. And, she has a great story arc in the game. For those that haven't played it, I highly recommend that you play Knights of the Republic, because it's one of the best games. It's pretty much on every device known to man. You can even play it on your iPhone. But it's just such a great game. And I know they were going to remake it on PlayStation 5, but I think that has had some development issues. But yeah, Bastila, number 4, amazing. Another video game character, going back to, as I mentioned, growing up, I was an Xbox guy. That moved into Xbox 360, which was one of my favorite video games of all time, which was The Force Unleashed. I bought the HasCon, I think it was, special pack, which, why wouldn't you? That was such a cool pack. You got all those effects. You got 3 heads. You got 2 lightsaber colors. So you can do, the blue lightsaber, because for those of you that play the game, you get different lightsaber crystals that you can change. You got the lightning effects. You got different hands. And you got 2 stormtroopers, which you can never have enough stormtroopers in your display. So I actually have them displayed with him, doing a fun little something. Because you do have the other figures that are Force Unleashed, so you can, add some fun display options. But Galen Merrick, Starkiller himself, this figure is amazing. He looks so good. And I love it. I have been wanting a Starkiller in my collection forever. I am happy they did the Force Unleashed 1 Starkiller, because I think he is a cool look. He just looks like a grungy, Force sensitive Sith apprentice, which is cool. In the second one, he's kind of more of like a clean cut, I don't know, like Jedi, like whatever. I don't know what that was kind of for, but this one just looks so good. The face sculpt looks amazing. And I just love all the details. I love, the only thing that I really don't like is this like blood that he has. I know that was like part of the game, but it just looks kind of weird. It just kind of looks like marker or something. But other than that, the figure itself just looks fantastic. A great sculpt, a great detail. He also has like the little like notches here that you can put in additional lightsabers like he has in the game. I wish they would do the Ultimate Sith and the Ultimate Jedi one too, because those are awesome costumes. But yeah, number 3 is my man, Galen Merrick, Starkiller himself. And then number Dose. You knew he was coming. Malak. Darth Malak himself. This was another one that I have been waiting for. I've been wanting Darth Malak since Revan again. I was like, if you have Revan, you need Malak, his apprentice. Malak was the best bad guy we had seen since Vader because of the video game. He was just this creepy, like, I don't even know how to describe him. He's just so creepy and weird. And then you find out that this dude doesn't even have a bottom jaw. And they did that on this figure too. I actually haven't figured out how to open it yet, and I'm kind of scared to. I think you just oh, there you go. So you unclip it there, and then look at this. Like, that is amazing. Like, that's terrifying too. As a figure, that's some horror stuff there that you can do on this figure, and it's so cool that they did that kind of extra sculpting detail. They didn't have to do that. They could have just left his mask on, and then that's all you get. But they did the extra mile. They added that extra feature that you can have, which makes him just so much cooler. And the face looks awesome. He just looks menacing. He's big. He's hulking, which he's supposed to be, right? He was like that in the game, and then they gave him that same pressure and daunting look here in an action figure. The reds look great. They're not just like very boring and tone deaf. The blue on his head looks really good. The tattoos that he has, but they did a really great job on the Malak figure, and it's so exciting. It's one of my personal favorites this year. I love bringing him out, posing him. I want to do some more pictures with him and Bastila and Revan. And it was so funny because they did Nihilus first, and I was always surprised that they did Nihilus, and then didn't do Malak. But then I understand why. They really wanted to do him right, and I'm happy they did, because I know Nihilus they kind of did half-assed with the Darth Maul body, and then I switched mine with the Kylo Ren body, which made it so much better. But this one, they just did fully new tooled figure, and it just is just so worth it. So yeah, number 2 is Darth Malak himself. And then number 1, I think everyone watching this already knows who my number 1 is. It's kind of a no-brainer based off, who the last couple ones were. Number 1 is the biggest big boy of them all, Darth Malgus. This figure is amazing. I did play Knights of the Old Republic. It was actually a game that I was really into, and then I got back into and beat all the DLCs. I did like everything you could do. But Malgus is just such a cool figure. He's huge for starters. You can do pretty much like 3 looks with him. So you can do his hooded look, you could do his unhooded look, but then you can also take off his respirator and do his unmasked look, which is also a look that he does in the game. I think it was more in the cinematics, because by the time that you play the game, he's like this. But Malgus was a great character in the game for those that played it. And this figure is just so good. He's so big. It's like a Build-A-Figure like level figure for Marvel Legends in a Star Wars figure, which is so cool, because we didn't really get figures like this big prior to this year. We got obviously now Chrysanthemum, Malgus, and we're starting to get more bigger guys and these deluxers. But deluxe for Black Series used to just be, like, oh, it has a few more accessories or some extra, bells and whistles. Like, this is a deluxe figure. He's huge, he's bulky, he's got great accessories and paint app. And I was so happy to get him. But Darth Malgus is such a great figure. I'm gonna fix the lighting there. It looks like he's a little fried out, but I love this figure. I'm so happy we have a Malgus now. I do have him at 3/4 inch, so I was so pumped to have him in 6 inch. And I think he looks really good in the 6 inch scale. Very menacing. They did a great job on the head sculpt, where he has like some veins that are showing. His eyes are a little sunken in, because he is Sith. But yeah, no, great work on this figure, and he's great to have in the collection. So super pumped to have this one. So that's it. That is my top 10 Black Series figures of 2023. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know that there could be some additional figures that could come out from now until then, but for the most part, I think these are my core top 10 figures that I have enjoyed the most this past year. I know that there was a few like doubles in some areas, but I really don't care. It's my video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I know I have a giveaway that I need to do, so I need to figure out a way to do that. I do have the figure still, and it's sitting in a box somewhere. So I really want to give that away because I've had a lot of great support from everyone that, you know, reviews the channel, stayed with the channel, watched the videos, liked the videos. So I do want to, you know, show my appreciation for everyone out there, especially during this holiday season. And I want to add in, I have a few Black Series figures. That I have doubles of that just aren't selling on eBay and stuff, that I'm trying to clear out my extra inventory. So I'd love to give those away too. So if there's other things that you're interested, I'll post them on my Instagram account, and I'd be more than glad to give those away to anyone. So maybe I'll do like a claim sale or something fun like that, but not sale, just give away and then you just pay shipping or something like that. So awesome. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a happy holiday season. I might do like a room tour since there is a ton of new stuff in the room, and I've redone and I've added you know, new displays and new stuff. So it might be cool to do a room tour maybe by the end of the year. So look out for that video. Those always seem to be fun to watch, even if you're new to the channel. They're great ways to bring new audiences in too. So thanks for watching. May the force be with you, and I'll see you next time.